The laundry was still warm in my hands when she walked in. I had just folded the last towel and was smoothing it into the basket when Cameron let the screen door slam behind her. She didn't even glance at me, just walked straight to the table, dropped a handful of papers with a slap, and said it like a weather report. "If you don't want to go to the nursing home, get a job." Her voice didn't waver. It wasn't cruel, exactly. It was clinical, like she'd already had the conversation in her head 100 times and decided she was done waiting. I stared at the papers. Water bill, internet overdue power notice. One of them had my name scrawled near the top in red ink, though I hadn't used the account in months. I thought I was just staying until May. I said more to the tea kettle than to her, to help with the baby. Cameron sighed and finally looked at me. "It's already October, Mom." That was true, but no one had said a word until now. She kept going, stacking plates into the dishwasher, like the conversation wasn't happening. "I just think it's time we all had a little clarity. Marcus and I are stretched thin. It's not personal." That last part stung the most. I didn't say anything. I just stood, walked to the laundry basket and picked it up. The handles creaked faintly in my grip. Upstairs, the bedroom door was still open. I sat the basket on the chair by the closet and reached for my suitcase under the bed. It had been there since spring, still half-packed from when I arrived. I didn't ask her if she meant it. Downstairs, the sound of Cameron's footsteps faded toward the hallway. Outside, somewhere beyond the hedges, I heard a car engine hum to a stop. I looked out the window but saw only sky. The suitcase doesn't close all the way at first. I have to press down gently on the top, folding the second shirt flat with the edge of my hand. I don't pack much. Just what I came with and what I bought myself. Nothing that can be mistaken for theirs. The room feels colder now, like the walls pulled back when they heard her say it. I glance around at the framed photos, most of them taken before the baby was born. There's one of me holding Cameron's oldest back when he still called me Nana with a laugh in his voice. That was before Marcus started making it clear he preferred quiet mornings, childlike voices only, and certainly no long conversations at the kitchen table with me. He never said it outright, but his silences said plenty. The house echoes more than it should. Their lives move through the hallways with the kind of confidence that doesn't make space for other people. It used to be mine in a way, not this structure, but the foundation beneath it. After Howard passed, I handed Cameron the check that made this place possible. I never asked to be paid back. I never even put it in writing, just help when help was needed. That was always my place in the corner, arms open, ready to lift whatever someone else dropped. I open the drawer by the bed and take out a notepad. I write slowly, not a farewell, not even a letter, just a list of what they can keep. The slippers I left by the door, the measuring cups, the extra quilt folded at the end of the bed. Things too tied to memories or too simple to be worth explaining. I slide the paper under the lamp and run a hand along the windowsill, checking for anything I missed. It's clean, empty, like no one ever planned to make space for me here long term. The suitcase zips without resistance now. I lift it gently and glance at the time. It's nearly 4. Downstairs, the doorbell rings once. The wheels of my suitcase roll softly over the front step as I ease the door closed behind me. The autumn air is sharp, the kind that bites if you breathe too fast. I pause at the edge of the porch. From the second-floor window, Cameron is watching, arms folded, expression unreadable. She doesn't wave. She doesn't come down. She probably thinks I've called a cab, maybe a friend, maybe the church van. But the car that turns slowly into the driveway is none of those things. It's a black Mercedes, sleek, silent, unmistakable. It glides to a gentle stop by the walkway. The engine quiets almost before it's fully parked. The driver's door opens first. Malcolm steps out calm as ever. His silver hair is combed neatly, his gray jacket crisp but simple. He closes the door, walks around and opens mine, as if we've done this 1,000 times. "Ready?" he asks. I nod once. I don't turn around. I don't check the window. I don't need to. I feel Cameron move. I hear the front door swing open too fast and the sound of her slippers hitting the steps. Wait, who is that? The question hangs between us unanswered. Malcolm helps me into the car, closing the door with a soft, certain click. He circles back to the driver's seat as Cameron reaches the curb. She doesn't yell. Not yet. She's too shocked, or maybe confused. She's still calculating what to say when Malcolm shifts the car into reverse and eases us back out of the driveway. I keep my hands folded in my lap, my eyes forward. For the first time in months, I inhale fully. The tightness in my chest loosens. Malcolm doesn't say anything at first. He knows better. Silence is its own kind of balm. He drives toward the tree line, steady and unhurried, like this road was always meant for us. And as the house disappears behind a bend, I let the breath go and reach for the ring in my coat pocket. Malcolm doesn't ask what happened. He just carries my bag inside with one hand and flips on the porch light with the other. We were married at the county clerk's office on a Thursday. No ring exchange, no photographs, just signatures and a shared look that said more than any vow could. He'd been through all the grand gestures before. Twice. I had no appetite for spectacle either. We both knew what mattered, and we kept it between us. The farmhouse was his idea. A renovation project that turned into something more when he realized he didn't want to fill it alone. 30 minutes from the city, just enough distance to exhale. The kind of place where the silence feels earned, not empty. Inside, everything smells like fresh wood and old paperbacks. My slippers are still by the door where I left them last week. The air holds none of the tension I carried home with me. I reach for my bag, but Malcolm gently sets it down before I can. "The guest room's ready," I say out of habit. He shakes his head once. "No more guest rooms. I married you to stand beside me, not behind." There's no grand speech, no ceremony in his voice. Just a simple sentence with no room for argument. I nod, unable to speak for a moment, and carry the bag toward the master bedroom. I unpack slowly, methodically, smoothing each blouse over the dresser drawer. I hang up the one good coat I brought, then sit on the edge of the bed with both hands in my lap. The room is quiet, but not like Cameron's house. This silence has space in it. Room to think, to rest, to be. From the kitchen, I hear the kettle start to rumble. Malcolm always makes tea around this time. 1 cup for him, 1 for me. No requests, no reminders. I slip off my shoes and stand, walking barefoot down the hallway, just as the kettle begins to whistle. After dinner, Malcolm clears the table like he always does, his version of a quiet routine. I rinse the mugs, dry my hands, and follow him into his study. The room smells faintly of leather and ink, lined with blueprints, maps, and manila folders, each neatly labeled in his handwriting. He gestures for me to sit as he pulls out a slim portfolio from the bottom drawer. "I updated everything this week," he says. "Thought you should take a look." He opens it carefully and slides it toward me. Inside are the revised papers for the Langston Trust, 3 properties all deeded and accounted for. My name now appears beside his on every page. "You don't need to do anything," he adds, watching my face. "But you should know what you hold." My fingers graze the corner of the floor plan on top. Building 2 jumps out at me. Cameron's office is there, Langston Square. Her firm signed a 5-year lease last spring, excited about the modern layout and convenient location. I remember her calling it a fresh start, a way to step beyond small-town legacy thinking. I said nothing then, just smiled on the phone while stirring a pot of soup she never tasted. Now, without even realizing it, she's renting her future from the woman she pushed out of her past. Still, I feel no triumph. No smugness. Just a quiet, anchored kind of knowing. I flip to the back pages and double-check the trust account details. Malcolm included access rights, inheritance lines, fallback options. All clean. All clear. I close the folder and stand walking to the hall cabinet. From the bottom shelf, I pull out a metal file box and slide the papers inside. There's a manila divider marked in pencil. Next time they forget. I return to the kitchen as Malcolm refills the kettle. He doesn't ask what I'll do with the information. He trusts my silence the same way I trust his steadiness. While the water heats, I pick up my knitting bag from the chair and begin a new row. The stitch always steadies my hands, even when my thoughts begin to stir. The morning moves slower than usual. I wake at my normal time, instinctively reaching for the apron I no longer need. For years, Sundays meant pancakes, scrambled eggs, fruit cut into shapes, and the sound of little feet thudding down the stairs before the syrup hit the table. I sit at the kitchen counter waiting for the phone to buzz. It stays quiet. By 8, I know they've made their decision. No invitation, not even a message to say they're running late or that the kids are sick or that it's just too much this week. I don't think they forgot. I think they decided. I open my tablet, out of habit scroll through social media without really looking. Then I see it. A photo from Cameron's account. The caption reads, "Just family today." There's the dining room, the same one I used to clean after breakfast, used to decorate with paper garlands in the fall. In the corner of the frame, almost cut off, is the rug I gave her last Christmas. And the chair I spent 3 afternoons reupholstering when Marcus spilled coffee on it. Their plates are full. Everyone's smiling. The baby has jam on her chin. I wonder if they used the old griddle, or if she finally bought the new one she mentioned last month. I close the tablet. The screen goes dark. Malcolm walks in, holding 2 mugs. He hands me one and doesn't ask what's on my mind. He just sits beside me, waiting. The quiet between us doesn't ache the way it used to in other places. It settles. He takes a sip, then glances toward the window. My niece in Charlotte's hosting a cookout next weekend. "Want to go?" I nod, brushing the last of the muffin crumbs off my lap. "I'd like that." He smiles, rising to rinse his cup. The calendar on the wall already has the date marked in red ink. I didn't know he'd written it down. Outside, the wind catches the tips of the trees. Somewhere in the house, the phone remains still. The call comes just after lunch. Malcolm puts the phone on speaker so I can hear the lawyer clearly. His voice is smooth, practiced, the kind of tone that explains contracts to boardrooms and grandmothers with equal patience. "They're requesting a renewal," he says. 5 more years. Same rate. No negotiation. I don't say anything. I already know which building he's talking about. They're assuming it's a formality, he continues. "But since you're listed as co-owner, I can't proceed without your signature." Malcolm looks over at me. "You want to raise the rent?" I shake my head. "No. Leave it." He waits, watching me. He doesn't press. I think he already knows the answer. I don't want revenge. I don't want them struggling. I just want to be respected. But I say, lifting the folder from the table, add a clause. He leans forward. "Go on. No renovations without written approval from ownership. Not cosmetic, not structural." Malcolm raises an eyebrow. "They changed your office, didn't they?" I nod once. "Painted over everything. Took down the shelf I built. Didn't even mention it." He makes a small sound, something between agreement and quiet disapproval. "Then don't let them touch the walls again." I take the pen from the holder and flip to the final page. My signature line is blank. Clean. Waiting. I sign slowly. Not with spite, not with satisfaction, just with steadiness. First and last name, full. The lawyer says he'll process the updated draft and send it for filing. When the call ends, Malcolm pushes his chair back and reaches for my teacup to refill it. No fanfare. No remarks. I slide the signed copy into the envelope and seal it. Later, I file a copy in the cabinet under the same tab as before. Next time they forget. The drawer closes with a soft click. Nothing more. Outside, a few dry leaves scrape along the edge of the porch. The light through the trees has shifted. I stand to check the mail, wondering if the invitation will come this year, or if they've finally decided there's no place for me at the holiday table. The message comes in just after 10. Not a call. Just a line of gray text blinking up from the screen, like a question someone already answered before asking. We'd like to invite you if you can bring dessert and arrive after 4. There's no greeting, no apology. Just a request dressed up like a gesture. I read it once, then again. Malcolm looks up from the paper, catches the change in my face, and sets his coffee down without a word. If you'd rather not, he starts. I shake my head and exhale slowly. No, I'll reply. I type out, thank you. We have plans. No punctuation, no hesitation. I set the phone down face first and stand hands already moving toward the kitchen, not out of anger, but instinct. Some habits take longer to shed than others. I peel apples, measure flour, pinch butter into crumbs until it softens under my thumbs. The crust comes together the way it always does. Quiet, exact, forgiving. I hum a little while it bakes, though I couldn't name the tune if asked. By 3:30, the pie is wrapped still warm, nestled in a cloth-lined basket. Malcolm loads it into the car without a word, only meeting my eyes once as if to ask, "Are you sure?" I nod. We drive east to his sister's house, where the windows glow before we even pull into the driveway. Inside, the table is full. Laughter spills into the hallway before our coats are off. 2 toddlers crawl between our feet. One of them hands me a wooden block and beams when I say thank you. No one poses for photos. No one asks where I've been. They just pass the dishes, refill the cider, and make room without needing a reason. I place the pie on the counter next to the others. Later, someone compliments the crust. I say thank you and leave it at that. Malcolm's hand rests gently over mine as the fire crackles beside us. I lean back in my chair and close my eyes just long enough to forget the message that morning even happened. The next day, the doorbell rings just after noon. She stands at the door with her coat half buttoned and a yellow envelope in her hand, the kind that flaps open with tension. Her eyes move past me, scanning the porch, the windows, the shape of the house, like she's trying to decide whether she belongs here or not. I open the door without saying anything. She hesitates for half a second, then holds up the envelope. My lease is expiring. There's a new clause in the renewal. Says there's a shared owner now. Her voice catches on the word owner like it tastes strange in her mouth. Why is your name on it? I step aside. She walks in slowly, looking around, taking in the space. I don't offer a tour. I don't fill the silence. In the kitchen, I make coffee, black, no sugar. I set her cup on the table and sit across from her, both hands wrapped around my own. She stares at the rim of her mug. Her nails are chipped. She doesn't drink. You said I needed to get a job, I say, quiet but steady. She blinks, looking up for the first time. Her face is paler than I remember. You really remarried? I nod. There's a long stretch of nothing. Not awkward, just dense. The kind of silence that comes after a door is closed, but before someone realizes they can't open it the same way again. I didn't think you'd actually leave, she says at last, voice thin. I lift my cup, hold it steady near my lips. You didn't think I had anywhere to go. She doesn't deny it. Her shoulders drop just slightly, like something inside her deflated. I don't press. There's nothing to argue. Nothing left to prove. She finishes half the coffee before she stands. No hug, no goodbye. Just a glance at the doorway, like she's walking through a different version of the world than she arrived in. After she leaves, I wash the mugs and dry them with the towel draped over the oven handle. The morning is still quiet. By afternoon, I find myself turning toward town. The receptionist offers me a smile as I step through the front door, her voice bright with habit. "Good morning, can I help you?" I shake my head gently, just looking around. She nods and returns to her screen, unaware that the chair she's sitting in once belonged to me. Not literally, of course, but I assembled it scrubbed scuffs from the legs when the delivery crew dropped it on the curb. I even found the table they use for client meetings at a warehouse sale 3 towns over. I walk slowly, letting the space settle around me. The walls are a muted beige, now clean, safe, forgettable. When Cameron first launched the studio, we'd painted them together, pale sage and warm sand. I remember how excited she was about contrast and texture. None of it remains. I reach the office in the back. Her door is open, lights off. The bookshelf I built is gone, replaced by sleek floating panels and minimalist prints. It looks professional, polished, emptier somehow. I don't step inside. I just stand in the doorway, breathing in the stillness. No one here knows who held this room together when the computers failed and the invoices piled up. No one asks why I've come. I don't need to explain. That part of my life doesn't need reclaiming. I walk back through the front, quietly. No one stops me. No one offers a brochure or asks if I'd like to schedule a consultation. The place hums on without me, which is its own kind of peace. Outside, Malcolm is standing near the car, leaning slightly against the passenger door. In his hand is a bouquet, nothing extravagant. Just soft yellow tulips trimmed short, tied with twine. I step toward him. He opens the door for me without a word, and I slide in as if I've done this all my life. "Ready to go home?" he asks. I look straight ahead, the town growing smaller behind us, the road unfolding like an old ribbon that finally leads somewhere soft. "I am," I say, and I don't look back.